We should have brought Van Stone in today because he has just texted in Bobby Thompson.
Yes, Bobby Thompson.
He was George Reed's backup.
He certainly was. Fantastic football player.
He was, but clearly not used a ton when you're George Reed's backup.
Yeah.
That's right.
But Bobby Thompson, thank you, RV. By the way, you know how much I loathe political talk, and I definitely try at all costs to stay away from it. But apparently somebody made some sort of slur about the Prime Minister last night at Agribitions, got everybody all hot and bothered.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Rodeo
You've heard
clown,
of it?
right?
Oh, the rodeo clown did?
Yeah.
So now everybody's offended.
What did he say?
So, it doesn't matter what he said. People are offended because he made a joke about the Prime Minister. And we got an NHL coach being fired for using a racial slur, but we have a Prime Minister dressing in blackface, and that's okay. They reelect him. You don't want to touch that, do you?
I don't.
Doesn't make a lot of sense to me,
Well,
I'm just going to say. Something's not right here.
I don't really want to get into it.
Wait, nor should you.
I'm good.
I'm going on record as pointing that out. We fire an NHL coach in this country, but re-elect a Prime Minister. Okay.
Yeah, but that's not...
The same thing.
It's not the same. It's not the same.
Okay. Clark says it was Wednesday night with the rodeo clown. He says he and Jordan, who's our switcher in there, he said they were there for it. Clark wants to go deeper into it. I do not. So to the Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center poll question today, who is the most coveted free agent CFL quarterback? Still running away with a vote. Of the top four I've narrowed down out of the 14 free agent quarterbacks there are, Jeremiah Masoli, 69% of respondents on Twitter saying Jeremiah Masoli is the most coveted free agent quarterback in the CFL. 69% on Twitter, 56.5% on Facebook. Nick Arbuckle comes in at number 2. Matt Nichols, a distant number 3. Chris Streveler, number 4 out of that list. And I just want to say, don't vote on who's your favorite. Vote on, if you were a general manager, who's the first guy you'd be going after. For me, it would be Nick Arbuckle. It really would.
Yep.
Now, switching gears a little bit, and Clark says we're having a tough time maintaining or actually establishing contact with both Dave Naylor and James Wilder Jr. So we'll continue with our football talk today. It continues to fly by, and I invite audience participation. But with the Mike O'Shea thing, and I just saw Jason Fichter of the Rider Prider fan page posting that the Bombers have called a news conference for 11 a.m. So we'll be on the air when that hits. So somebody please let us know what the news is. Maybe it's that Mike O'Shea is staying with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, or maybe Mike O'Shea is leaving. Now, John, you got friends in Winnipeg. Believe it or not, he does.
A ball player with me.
And I have several. How do you think it would play in Winnipeg if O'Shea said, hey, one and done, I'm out, I'm going to Toronto? Does he leave with their blessing? Does he go to Toronto, where we hear that he is wanted by Pinball Clemens and the Argos organization? His son, I think it's Mike Jr., is playing with the Guelph Griffins University football team. And then all of a sudden, do you move Paul LaPolice in there as a head coach, or Richie Hall, or whatever? How do you see this playing out?
It's unusual, a very unusual situation. The guy coaches you to the Grey Cup the way he did. Super Grey Cup game. But I think if he left town and Paul LaPolice became the head coach, it would go over real big, because the fans in Winnipeg still love Paul LaPolice, even though he got fired, eh? But he took him to a Grey Cup. So he's very popular there. It would go over pretty good if he left and the guy that came in was Paul LaPolice. It would all depend on who the successor was. Will he do it? I don't think so. It's too easy for him in Winnipeg. You get a 3-year contract for $450,000 to $500,000. It's pretty easy there, and he knows how tough. He's not a stupid guy, O'Shea. Mike O'Shea's a sharp guy.
Highly intelligent guy.
He knows how difficult it is to survive in Toronto, let alone coach a football team.
Well, he's from there.
Huh?
How do you mean survive? Survive how?
Well, with the crazy people, the way they drive, and
He played there.
But then he played there.
He knows.
But it's a fifth sport there, folks.
Bad traffic in Toronto,
Baseball,
Lynch
hockey,
says, should prevent him from signing there.
Baseball, hockey, football.
Well, then come here. We should have every best coach in the world here, because we have no traffic.
No, but
Exactly.
it's an easy thing for him to do here. And in Toronto, it's a big, big thing to do, to turn that team around. Can Pinball turn it around? I don't know. He'd be very popular, I think, Mike. It'd go over better than anything in football has for the last 5 years. But I'd advise him to stay in Toronto or Winnipeg.
Sandra Mathers Larson writes in and she says, Toronto hasn't fired anyone yet. Yes, but that's the point. And listen, I'm not that bright. What do you say, Lynch? NTB. Not too bright. I was just putting this together over the last couple of days. No wonder they're dangling Chamberlain and haven't made a decision on his future because they don't know what O'Shea's going to do yet.
Well,
so if O'Shea becomes available, then you fire Chamberlain or maybe try to convince him to be defensive coordinator, which he said he wouldn't accept that role, which is totally is right. Yes.
Time.
Am I going too far down the rabbit hole here?
Well, something's not making sense to me for a second. Now, you say the Bombers called the news conference.
I haven't seen it on their Twitter.
I'm just looking. Darren Bombing says Mike O'Shea to address the media in Winnipeg at 11 a.m. today. So Mike O'Shea.
I would like to think it's the same thing.
He doesn't necessarily expect it to be a new contract or anything like that. But do we think Mike O'Shea is going to step out and say, "Okay, guys, I'm out"?
Well, what do we
and I'm available now.
What do we think he's going to say?
No, but and then I'm available, and then hope that Toronto cans their coach. Like the Toronto's got to lose Chamberlain first before Mike O'Shea will decide.
Not going to work that way.
But that's how it always works.
Yeah, it won't work that way.
I mean,
no.
You don't leave your keep bringing this up to like wives and stuff. You don't leave your significant other for nobody. You typically, right, when you see that happen, you don't just leave and
look.
Okay, now you can leave.
For
now
one,
you can leave, and then we're going to be
the
happy.
CFL does not operate conventionally.
True.
Okay, rules are a guideline, not law. You know who told me that? Cal Murphy. These are guidelines.
Yeah, I can hear that. I can hear him
right?
saying,
You can hear him saying it.
I sure can.
So
I think
no,
that
there will be. It'll be tampering here, but they'll just look the other way because it's the Argos.
Okay, so if there's if he knows, okay,
it'll be allowable tampering.
Well, how much will Toronto offer him?
But he's not going to know. He's not going to leave Winnipeg unless he knows that there's an opportunity going to be there. In
Pinball and him will talk.
Okay. Now we're back.
600,000 in Toronto. What's he going to be offered to go to Toronto?
Yeah, he won't be because of the coaching salary cap. Those days are gone.
Okay, he'd be offered 500,000, and he'd be offered 400 to 450 in Winnipeg. Where's he going to stay?
My guess is probably 350 to 400,000. Sean Lemon is watching the program, and thank you, Clark, for prompting this. There's the Lemonator writing on the Facebook wall, and for those that can't see it that are listening live, Sean says, let's not forget Toronto won a Grey Cup 2 years ago. Easy city to turn around. And it's also in a weak East Division. There's a lot of attractive things, is what Sean's saying, I'm saying, and you're saying, Lynch, to Mike O'Shea going home.
Yeah.
And you say it's rare, and it is rare, but Jim Hobson sat in that chair 2 days ago and said, hey, Ken Austin left here after 2007 winning a Grey Cup. Now, but he didn't go to another CFL team. He went to Ole Miss as their offensive coordinator. So it's not quite the same, but it's happened in the NHL with Barry Trotz. This is the third time this week I've mentioned it. Wins the Stanley Cup with Washington and goes to the New York Islanders the very next year and is named Coach of the Year. Let's not forget. So it has happened. It's not completely out of the realm of possibility. And the funny thing is, here's Paul LaPolice sitting there going, he's going to get offers probably from Edmonton, Winnipeg, Ottawa, and potentially Winnipeg. And he'll have the pick. And the other thing, I was reading the Ottawa Sun this morning. Great article by Tim Baines. Interviewed the general manager of the Red Blacks, and he's Marcel Desjardins, and the question was, do you feel an urgency to get something done here because of all the openings in the CFL? And he said, it's a factor. If these teams wait too long, they're not going to get the guy that they want. So how soon before all this shakes down? Well, Mike O'Shea might tell us at 11. What do we expect he's going to say? I wish we could go live to Winnipeg.
It's not going to be just, it's nice to be back home. The Grey Cup was great. We really enjoyed it. Thanks for the support. It's great living here in Winnipeg. I'll talk to you later.
Can you imagine? He might.
How do we know? Nothing in this league surprises.
He might announce another Grey Cup party somewhere. I don't know. My first thought is it's got to be a contract extension. I don't know that he's calling a news conference to say he's leaving. That news conference might happen in Toronto to say he's got another job.
Can we go live to Winnipeg? One day. You're thinking about it. Yeah.
Can I pull this off in 4 minutes?
He's laughing in Winnipeg for probably another couple of good shots of the Grey Cup. Eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very interesting. But you talk about why things haven't. Like, I think, I'm surprised that we haven't had more action already. Especially the way BC got rid of Devon Claybrook.
Me too.
To get a jump start on Rick Campbell. That doesn't leave me with a good taste that Rick Campbell will go to BC. I thought that them getting out ahead of Edmonton and getting a 3-week head start on the Edmonton Eskimos, I thought would have given them a really good opportunity to sway and to court Rick Campbell as their next head coach, who I think they really want, and I know a lot of teams would. So to me, BC's got to be scrambling a little bit, being like, okay, if Rick's not going to come here now, what are we going to do?
Rick Campbell is not going to BC.
Where are we going to go?
Right.
No,
I'm sure
Mike Benavides.
Yeah. Well, Lapo's been close a couple of times to going to BC too. So that's who wouldn't want to live in Vancouver, by the way? But the money wasn't there. Paul and I are very good friends. We talk a lot about these things. I love this Facebook wall. I got it here from Lynch. You're setting off everybody commenting here. From Charles Marshall, he says this is great. Friends sitting around talking CFL off season. See, and people say, "What are you going to do when football's over?" It's never over.
Never.
Where have you been in the past?
As a matter of fact, these are going so fast I can't even keep up. Wayne in Victoria. Frenzy is too entertaining. From JR in Cranbrook. Sign Frenzy to a contract extension. He's the best one on your show.
Oh, but
Lynch,
what's his name?
What's your deal?
Free agency doesn't open till February, okay?
From Brian Eitenauer. That's a new one, Lynch. Turning down a job because of traffic. I'm not sure about you anymore. Now they're all coming up on the screen.
See, now I know the pressure that all these general managers are under.
How so?
With the pressure. Now you're putting pressure on me to get this
re-sign
deal
Lynch.
done, and now John's hiking up his price.
So,
are we going to hear about what it is? At
11 a.m. Central,
okay,
which is nigh. Mike O'Shea will be addressing reporters in Winnipeg with his future.
You're watching Rod Pedersen On Demand. For more of The Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.